Hi guys, so in this video it's the second part in a series we're doing which is called Can I? And I'm calling this video How Can I Make Things Real? So we all have, well I say we all have, we should have some form of targets and goals you're trying to achieve in your business because you know any journey, any destination, you need to know exactly where you're going. You know, if I'm traveling somewhere in Manchester I've never been before, I need to put it in my sat nav. If I'm travelling to a different city or town, I need to know the exact route I need to go to get where I'm going. It's the same with your business and it's the same with your life. So today I wanted to show you how you can make the numbers real. That, you know, if you don't firstly plan what you're trying to achieve, then secondly put some steps into place to get there. You might never get there, or you might get there a lot slower. So just want to, it's quite simple stuff when you break it down, but a lot of people don't do it. So hopefully you get some use out of this. So whether you're a new business or you've been going for some time, hopefully it's going to be useful for you on some level. Okay, so if I'm just starting a business, or I've got a business I've been going a few years, and I've got a certain target I need to achieve in terms of my personal earnings to support the lifestyle I want, and you know it depends what sort of life you want, how many days you want to work, you know what your family goals are, what you're trying to achieve on that level. But let's say I've got a number in my head that I need to earn through my business, and let's don't forget your business is there to give you the lifestyle that you want on your terms. So I've got a certain amount of money I want to earn from my business, okay? Let's say that that's £40,000 per year. I want to earn that amount of money. So then you need to work backwards. You know, give you a heads up, there's going to be some generalisation going on here. It does depend on your business sector in terms of your costs. Do you have staff working for you? Do you have subcontractors? Are you an online business? There's all sorts of things like that. But the whole point of this video is to get you thinking in a more intentional sense of how you get to where you need to in terms of your numbers, okay? So if I want to earn £40,000, as a general rule of thumb, if we were to add 40% on top of that in terms of overheads, it might be a bit lower, it might be a bit more, but that's not a bad estimate based on common businesses. So if I add 40% on overheads, so the revenue required in that business in the 12-month period is 56k per annum. If we break that down into per month, you know, so let's have a monthly target, exactly what we're trying to achieve on a monthly basis, so we know how close we are. That's £4,666 per month. And again, it depends on your type of business, but let's pretend whatever type of business you're in, the average customer value of sale for whatever it is £500, okay? So you're going to need 9.33 jobs, or whatever you want to call it, per month to reach your revenue target. So I hope that makes sense. That's fairly easy to understand. Obviously, you need to tweak the numbers to suit you. So this is where you want to go. This is where you're heading. What you then need to do, if you're a new business, it's easy. You're starting from zero. But if you're an existing business, you need to look at where are you now, okay? And that's what we're going to look at. So where are you now? Let's just get rid of some of these. So in terms of where you are now, let's pretend you're hitting 42k of turnover. So not the 56k that we decided you need in order to earn £40,000. Your current costs of £21,000 and your current earnings are £21,000. You know, doing some simple maths. So you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientists or to realise that you know we've got 40% here in terms of the costs, but we've got 50% here. So you've obviously overspent, and you've also brought in not enough revenue to generate your target, what you want to achieve in your life. Okay, so the big question is, how do you get where you need to go? And this is where I hate to say people get it wrong, but I do see it quite often where people go in forward with no plan, no intentions, no real routes and directions to know what they need to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis to achieve what they ultimately are looking to achieve personally. So this is where you are now. How do you get there? Okay, so firstly, let's have a look at the gap you've got at the moment. So your current revenue is 42k, so you've got a deficit of £14,000 because you want 56k to achieve the lifestyle you want and that earnings target of 40k. Your costs are too much, even though your revenue is lower. So you're overspending by 5k based on where you should be at the moment. So you've got a deficit altogether of £19,000 in terms of what you're trying to earn from the business. You know, as I said, the business is there to serve you. But what does that mean, and what can you do about it? First and foremost, you need to be aware of what your shortage is, of what your deficit is. Is your revenue falling short? Are your costs too much? Why are they too much? Is your average value per customer not what it should be? You're giving too many discounts away? Are you not completing enough jobs in time? So you can really get nitty gritty, but just assess where you are. That's the first thing I would say. So £14,000, and we're talking over the course of a whole year. In terms of additional jobs, at £500 per job, that's 28 extra jobs you need if you break it down fundamentally to hit that target in terms of your earnings, okay? So that would give you a conversion. How many quotes, how many proposals do you need to generally send out to get a paying customer? Is it 4? Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 10? Whatever that number is, that's called your conversion rate, okay? The amount of inquiries you're getting or proposals you're sending compared to the amount you're signing up is your conversion rate. Do you look at your conversion rate? Are you literally leaking money because you're not following up in the right way, you're not professional enough in your proposal, or you're not pushing the right buttons for your customers, or adding enough value, or explaining the services you're doing properly? You know, to give you brass tacks, difference it can make in terms of having a better conversion rate. If you had a conversion rate of 50%, you only need to quote for 2 jobs to win 1 job, which is a huge difference. So if your conversion rate's 25%, you're going to need 112 quotes in a year to reach your target of 28 extra jobs, if that makes sense. If you had a conversion rate of 50%, it would be 56. Just 56 extra quotes in a year. So they're the sort of what we call KPIs, key performance indicators. That's really fundamental to your business. Understand what pushes the buttons for you in terms of those key metrics. So quote, let's pretend it is 25%, because I don't think that's a completely uncommon sort of ballpark figure. Quotes per month is 9.33. So we round it to 9 or round it up to 10. Currently, how many quotes are you sending per month? If you're sending 5, you're falling short. Like I said there, you need to up your game. So straight away, putting things on paper, knowing where you're falling short. A lot of people keep things in their head, and it's not, they lose sight of the focus, exactly where they need to be heading, where they're falling short. So you need to almost double your quotes you're sending out. How do you double your quotes? You know, I'm not a marketing expert, but you need to do something. You need to take action to get the results you want. You know, average action gets average results. Massive action gets massive results. So you need to do something different to get the results you want, ultimately. And this isn't even looking at your costs. You know, what about your costs? Your costs are too expensive in proportion to your revenue. You know, if you've got staff and you've got wages as an expense, are you being efficient enough? Are you relying too much on manual labour, manual work, and not using software and technology as smartly and as efficiently as you should? You know, we've done changes in our business where it's probably saved 10 hours a week in human time because there's certain things that can be automated. And I don't think you should ever completely automate things, because having a relationship is so important in whatever business you're in. But you don't want to be wasting time in the wrong areas. You want to be spending the time as human beings in the areas that add the most value in your business. So that's just give you a bit of an idea where to shed the light and put some focus on how can you cut your costs. And as a general way of looking at your costs, what expenses on your profit and loss account, as if you have regular numbers that you review on a monthly, quarterly, or even weekly basis, what expenses, sorry about the typo there by the way, what expenses are not adding value in terms of achieving your ultimate goal? It's easy to let these expenses creep up as you're a growing business and you're like, I've got the turnover to cope with it, but are they actually helping you achieve your goal, which is to earn what you want to earn ultimately? Sometimes you might need to take a step back to go forward when you're in the name of growing a business, but don't ever lose sight of your profitability, because that's ultimately what your business is there for. So the sort of things you can do to be a bit more intentional about this, and I've literally just recently done the most up-to-date business plan for Cheltenham Tax Accountants, ready for 2021. That's how ahead we are in terms of our planning, is you need an annual business plan. You need to have an agenda, a target. You need to set your intentions exactly where you are heading in your business. If you don't decide where you're heading, how are you going to know how you're going to get there? So too many people literally go week to week, month to month without any real plan how to achieve the results they want. And you need to take a step back and ask yourself, particularly if you're in business on your own and you don't have anybody else to bump heads with, you don't have a business partner, or you don't work with any business coaches or consultants or anything, having somebody else to hold you accountable and ask the questions you probably wouldn't be looking at yourself because you're too busy on the day-to-day could be so powerful. So just wanted to share with you how we can help in terms of having a business plan. It's, I think, a really essential thing that any small business to do. It doesn't really matter how big you are, and it's something you really should, it's a live document. You should be changing it and reviewing it every 3 months, every 90 days, even checking every month. How are you going? Going back to the numbers I was looking at there, if you need 9, 10 inquiries, proposals, quotes sent out a month, how are you going? Are your numbers going up? Is it now moving towards 6, 7 and 8? If so, that's amazing. What are you doing good? What are you doing right? If it's hovering around 4 or 5 still, what are you doing wrong? So without taking a step back and assessing, at least every quarter, but the very minimum, I'd say you need an annual business plan. You're not really going to get the results you want. If you had a New Year's resolution to lose weight and you wanted to lose a certain amount of weight by the end of the year, you're not just going to wait until the end of the year to see if you've lost weight, are you? You're going to check in weekly, monthly, at least quarterly, to get the results you want. So hopefully, guys, that's been helpful. And any questions, give me a shout. Cheers.